Malcolm Nance, we have entered the parallel universe where usually your job is to scare the out of us, and now you seem to be Captain Calm Down. You seem to be, I don't know where you are after yesterday, but it is exhausting, isn't it?
You know what it is? It's all these Biden 2020 cookies people sent me. So I think I'm on a sugar overload and I'm just crashing out.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying now is that this is really interesting. Because of the recount and the fact that it took 4 or 5 days to get to the point where they could at least call the election, it diffused a lot of the crazies.
Right.
And another component of that is Trump didn't actually come out and say anything. He was tweeting, but most people out in right-wing crazy world aren't on Twitter.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that also created a lot of confusion, particularly in QAnon land. And so while I was eating all that up with a healthy dose of Schadenfreude, I was just finding that Fox News was also muddling the waters by getting people to follow this whole Sidney Powell. She's a lawyer for Michael Flynn, who has said she has evidence that the CIA paid Joe Biden $150 million to get permission to, I don't know, use these voting machines from a company called Dominion. It's so crazy out there. It's like they're having a heart attack and they don't know which way to go, look up and down. So what that does for me is it makes me a little calmer because our opposition is fractured right now. Of course, they're going to get back together again. But for now, we can rely on them to be, injecting themselves with a double dose of stupid.
Every time I calm down, Malcolm, because this was for however long this went on yesterday, was really unnerving. Them saying we're not going to certify the results in Michigan, black people's votes don't count, and then of course public outcry, and the two Republicans are forced to do the right thing and reverse it. And then Robert Costa saying, one thing I keep hearing from Rudy people tonight, they know they can't catch up. What they want in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Nevada, other states is for the vote to not be certified. Their end game is to try to force it to the House. Giuliani is talking about this privately. I mean, they're all Hail Marys, try to get it to the Supreme Court, get it to the House where they, this obviously, I think, faithless electors plot has failed. But I mean, it literally is like we have to keep having this election every day, right?
Well, you do. I mean, they're desperate. And you have to look, come on, Rudy Giuliani's getting paid $20,000 per day just to make Trump feel like he's doing something.
Yeah, the con man is getting conned by all the con men that are left, right?
I mean, Grifty McGrifterson, I mean, they have this game down. But there's nothing that can be done here. If they force it to the House of Representatives, I don't see how they win. Well, I don't understand their logic on that because each state gets a vote. Look, you overturn the will of 140 million people who voted one way or the other.
Yeah.
What you do is you're essentially saying out loud, we're going to steal the election. The government is moving forward without them.
Yeah.
Right? Despite the fact that Trump is making all these crazy last minute appointments to acting people so they can get Fox News chyrons that they were the Assistant Secretary of Defense or something like that. That's not what's really happening here. What's happening is Donald Trump is coming apart in the White House, and his support structure is devolved down to Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, and Donald Trump Jr., which is an A team if I ever heard.
Yes. By the way, as you've written in countless books now, I mean, you couldn't be fulfilling Putin's wish list any better, right? Undermine faith in our elections, in our democracy, destabilize America on the world stage, right, in terms of NATO, in terms of, I mean, you name it. So hosts and commentators on the Kremlin-backed media are watching with fascination as Trump tries to overturn the results of the 2020 election, applauding the American president for creating chaos in his own country. Russian media paying up the fighting over the U.S. election, with one commentator calling the proceeding in the U.S. hilarious. That's nice. We've fallen to the Russia is openly laughing at us segment of the a particularly aggressive pro-Kremlin propagandist opened the program by smirking and saying, while the counting of votes in the U.S. is not yet over, it's already hilarious. Absolutely nobody in the U.S. trusts the electoral system. I feel like it is time. This is, if we were in the old show Kung Fu, this is where Trump has learned to grab the grasshopper or whatever from
the stone.
the pebble from.
Yeah.
Grab
He
the
is
stone.
grasshopper who has grabbed the pebble from his head. He doesn't even need Russia anymore, right?
No.
I mean, yes.
No, the Kremlin amplifies his talking points now. They don't even have to make up anything anymore. But you know what? I hope Moscow enjoys this.
Yeah.
I hope they're having a grand old time.
Yeah, laugh it up.
Because in 60 some odd days, all right, the Biden administration plan is to redouble all allied efforts around the world to send out envoys saying the United States is back. And one of their first items will be to punish Russia for not just the mayhem that they cause, but for, backing the wrong horse by trying to create chaos in the United States. No one will have forgotten the 2016 thing. All of those people that Donald Trump, what was his name, Bill Barr, actually tried to get Russian intelligence officers off by pulling their indictments. Oh, they're all getting indicted.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have faith. We have won this system. We have now control of 2 out of 3 branches of government, or 1.5 out of 3 branches of government. But we have our opportunity here now in Georgia, which is the absolute most critical stakes in this whole election now. Yeah. If we can take control of the Senate, all of your dream list will come true. All of the Bernie bros who thought they would never vote for Joe Biden, here's your chance to get whatever it is that you want passed. Yeah. Right?
Malcolm, I was just going to say, Chris Krebs, as a national security expert, I got to get your take on. So he did his job. He secured our election from Russia, among other bad actors, right? Makes a statement. This was the freest, fairest election we've ever had. It was completely secure. Cited 59 other scientists, election officials, whatever. And so, of course, Trump fires him yesterday.
Sure.
Which he knew he was. That's amazing that he's like, oh, I expect to be fired.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing he lasted as long as he did.
Yeah.
I criticized Donald Trump, who was out there saying that the entire election is corrupt, and I tell the truth, and I'm going to get fired. Again, this is a last desperate act for Trump. For everybody who's saying, okay, Trump is going to damage U.S. national security. He is critically destroying our infrastructure. No, he's not. He's not. Chris Krebs may be gone and might be back in that job on January 22nd.
Yeah.
Right? I would.
I hope a lot of people are restored. Colonel Vindman, yes.
All the Vindmans, right? Both Vindmans, go back to work. Everyone who was fired under Donald Trump by a political commissar, report back to work. Yeah. The great rebalancing has to take place.
Right. So I can't even tell who their good guys and bad guys are anymore. A federal judge, as you know, ruled that Chad Wolf was not lawfully serving as Department of Homeland Security head when he issued his horrible DACA memo, which, of course, Joe Biden will undo and, help the Dreamers. But so then Chad Wolf said he refused to fire Chris Krebs. So now you're like, is Chad Wolf also... Well, he's not even legally appointed, so I don't even know if you can fire him. But
he can't.
He's
not. He wasn't legally in the job. He had no authority back to the day he was appointed.
Right.
So this, whether he can fire Chris Krebs or not. That's the John Bolton dilemma, right?
Right.
Oh, I'm going to narc on Trump, but I'm not going to say anything at his impeachment until I get a book deal, and I'll come talk about it 6 months later. Chad Wolf is another. I really think that there should be a dead man walking list. And I mean that euphemistically. And that people who have done horrible things in this administration, who all think they're going to be Fox News analysts, who may likely be in prison in the next few years for the crimes that the White House doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Any attorney general coming in is going to go through and reestablish all those IGs, and they're going to start cleaning their agencies, and they're going to go, these people were a criminal enterprise operating as a government.
Thank you. As our friend Sarah Kendzior has always said, a transnational crime syndicate, masquerading as a government. So Pentagon officials are reportedly willing to meet with members of Biden's transition team informally If the a standoff with the White House continues into December, January is too late, said one official. It isn't clear how many officials would be involved in that effort or the extent to which the mutiny against Trump extends to the department's leadership. This is so absurd what we're going through. You're a national security and terrorism expert, an analyst for network television. It just, I don't know what you make of all his moves, the Iraq and Afghanistan and Iran, but what the is he doing?
Here's how that works. They're all going to go to 17th and K Street. There's a Pan Quotidien cafe there. And the Trump team are going to sit at that big long table that has the salt. And then the Biden team's going to sit at the small side tables, 6 feet apart. And they're going to talk out loud about various subjects. And they won't look at each other. Trump is, and what kills me is, how can it possibly hurt you if you get fired?
Right.
If you think you're that deep a loyalist that you won't talk to the incoming administration. I mean, that woman who runs the GSA, she definitely needs, when this is all over and done with, she's a career employee who apparently works for Donald Trump. She won't even think of giving them offices until it's certified. Never been done before.
Yeah.
Right?
But so I mean, it is serious for national security, isn't it? I mean, we are flying blind. It's not that we know Joe Biden's the most qualified person probably to ever take this job, but they're flying blind on national intelligence, on vaccine development, on, God knows what he's doing with Iran and with Afghanistan and what he's going to try to do to,
Imagine coming into that office on January 21st and you're the you're director of national intelligence or one of the deputy directors of national intelligence, and you sit down to get your morning brief and you find out Iran is actually 4 or 5 months away from an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
And they could have told you that 3 months ago.
Right.
Right? So that you would know what to do. Now you're in damage control mode. There are hundreds of people who need to get spooled up on what they are doing. And this is pure mayhem. This isn't just, this isn't removing the W key from the typewriter. This is literally sabotage of a new administration. The day they take charge, the entire Republican Party is going to come down on them every minute of every day, calling the Biden administration incompetent, doesn't know what they're doing, put Americans at risk. That's absolutely insane. These people literally killed 250,000 Americans through their incompetence. And now you can be sure the Republican Party will become the paragons of virtue on the day that Biden takes off.
I'm not a national security and terrorism analyst like you are, but I'm going to say the fact that Al-Qaeda has endorsed Trump's swift withdrawal of all American troops from Afghanistan. I'm going to say ISIS has also endorsed it. Yeah. But I believe they said Al-Qaeda as well. Yeah, whatever version.
Everybody there. Yeah. I got some news for you. For us to draw down that fast, we're going to have to abandon all of our equipment again, just like he did in northern Syria, right?
Yeah, because Putin told him to. Yeah.
Freezers to the Russians.
Yeah.
Right? Giving them all of our equipment. The only thing they did, they had to take all of their ammunition into the desert and blow it up. Yeah. Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and the Taliban are going to reap what we're about to do in Afghanistan. And I have no idea why Trump has this in his head that he is some great viceroy of Afghanistan by taking the troops out right now. I don't get it. He's doing it. It's got to be for Russia. It's got to be.
Oh, good. And could we sleep better? Will he attack Iran before he leaves office in the next 60 days?
I think he's the kind of guy to just freaking nuke Iran. I'm being facetious.
All right. Sleep well, everybody.
Do that.
Oh.
No, but he is the kind of guy to attack Iran the night before Joe Biden takes over and go, hey, here's your poop pie.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that would break stuff as he leaves.
Yeah, he set fire to the house.
Yeah, totally.
Right. Of all of the terrifying Malcolm Nance appearances on the Stephanie Miller Show, let's take a moment to say,
good morning.
Good morning.
We've talked the whole night through. Good morning.
Yeah, he likes a big finale. He likes a big finale with fireworks.
Yep.
Oh, gosh. Good morning. Thanks, Malcolm. All right.
You're welcome.
Okay.
It's the least I can do.
See you next week. Thanks.
Bye.
All right.